The scandal at Sunrise City Hospital. What would you do if you visited a hospital for surgery and returned home, miraculously pregnant, with no memory of how it could have happened? This is the gripping tale of a scandal that shook the very foundation of Sunrise City Hospital, leaving lives and reputations in ruins. Sunrise City Hospital, located in the heart of Sunrise City, was the pride of the nation. For over 15 years, it had maintained an impeccable reputation, celebrated for groundbreaking medical care. Patients from across the country came in search of hope, trusting the skilled professionals who worked there. To the outside world, the hospital was flawless, a beacon of excellence. Inside, however, the cracks in this seemingly perfect facade were beginning to show. Dr. Samba was one of the hospital's most respected physicians, known for his charm and medical prowess. Patients adored him, and his colleagues admired his ability to handle complex cases with ease. However, whispers about his flirtatious nature followed him wherever he went. Though his behavior raised concerns, no one had ever lodged a formal complaint. Most dismissed his advances as harmless, but for some, his actions created an uneasy tension in the hospital halls. Little did anyone know, Dr. Samba's reputation would soon be used against him in a scandal so shocking it would dominate headlines for months. The story began when Abigail, the wife of Colonel Sam, checked into Sunrise City Hospital for a routine procedure. Abigail was a reserved and dignified woman, respected in the community. Her husband, Colonel Sam, was a high-ranking officer in the military, known for his no-nonsense demeanor. Abigail's procedure went smoothly, and she was discharged without incident. But days later, she began experiencing symptoms that left her puzzled and worried. Her personal doctor delivered the news that turned her world upside down. Abigail was pregnant. Impossible, she insisted. Her husband, Colonel Sam, had been declared sterile years ago, a fact they had kept private. When she told Colonel, his reaction was explosive. Accusations of infidelity flew, and their once happy home became a battleground. Colonel stormed out, leaving Abigail distraught. She couldn't explain how this had happened, but deep down, she suspected something was terribly wrong. Abigail's case was not an isolated incident. As whispers of her pregnancy spread, more women came forward with similar stories. They all had one thing in common: they had been treated at Sunrise City Hospital. The hospital's administration tried to downplay the situation, but as more women stepped forward, the gravity of the issue became undeniable. The media got wind of the scandal, and soon headlines like "Miracle Pregnancies at Sunrise City Hospital" dominated the news. Amid the growing chaos, attention turned to Dr. Samba. Many of the women had been under his care, and his reputation as a flirt made him an easy target. Public opinion turned against him almost immediately. The hospital suspended Dr. Samba pending investigation. Overnight, the celebrated doctor became a pariah. Patients refused to see him, colleagues avoided him, and even his family began to distance themselves. "I didn't do this," he pleaded with the hospital administration. But his protests fell on deaf ears. The evidence, though circumstantial, seemed damning, and the court of public opinion had already declared him guilty. Among the hospital staff was Nurse Ruth, a seasoned professional who had worked alongside Dr. Samba for years. Though she didn't always approve of his behavior, she found it hard to believe he could be responsible for such heinous acts. Ruth began her own quiet investigation. She enlisted the help of Nurse Linda, a younger colleague, to review patient records and uncover the truth. What they found sent chills down their spines. Many of the affected patients' files had been altered or were missing entirely. Ruth and Linda noticed a pattern: most of the pregnancies coincided with night shifts. Even more troubling, the medication logs revealed unusually high doses of sedatives administered to the women. Ruth and Linda realized someone inside the hospital was manipulating records to cover their tracks. But who? And why? One night, Ruth found an anonymous note in her locker: "Stop digging, or you'll regret it." The warning shook her, but it only strengthened her resolve. Meanwhile, Abigail struggled with the emotional weight of her situation. The stigma of her pregnancy and the rift in her marriage left her feeling isolated. Desperate for answers, she reached out to Ruth after hearing about her investigation. The turning point came when a young boy, the son of a former patient, approached Ruth with a revelation. He had seen a nurse tampering with sedated patients during a night shift. The boy handed Ruth a wristwatch he had found at the scene. The initials engraved on the watch pointed to Nurse Linda. Ruth was stunned. Could it really be her trusted ally? Ruth confronted Linda, who broke down in a chilling confession. I was tired of being invisible, Linda spat. I wanted to punish those who had what I couldn't. So I took matters into my own hands. Linda revealed how she had orchestrated the pregnancies, framing Dr. Somba to deflect suspicion. Her actions were driven by envy and bitterness, a twisted attempt to exact revenge on those she resented. With Linda's confession recorded, Ruth alerted the authorities. Linda was arrested, and the truth of her actions shocked the city. Dr. Somba was exonerated, but his reputation had been irreparably damaged. Meanwhile, Abigail and Colonel Sam decided to relocate, seeking a fresh start away from the scandal. In their new home, Abigail gave birth to a healthy baby boy. Though the circumstances of his conception were painful, the child became a symbol of hope and healing for the couple. They named him Emmanuel, meaning God is with us. Though the scars of the scandal remained, Abigail and Connor found strength in their faith and each other. Sunrise City Hospital eventually recovered its reputation, but the story of its darkest chapter served as a cautionary tale for years to come. Moral lesson. The lesson from this story is clear: truth and justice must prevail, no matter how difficult the journey. It reminds us of the importance of seeking the truth, protecting the vulnerable, and standing up against injustice.
Hope you enjoyed the tale. If so, please like the video, comment, share it with your family and friends, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell for more enchanting tales like this one. Goodbye.